Okay, Friday Flow, here we go. I don't even know where to start. And that's why it's just a matter of flow because there is no, you know, it's just whatever is on my mind. It's wild through what I've experienced in my own relationships as well as what I've learned and what I've observed. Just how, like, and I'm not trying to, maybe I am, because I'm becoming more and more aware of my own shit. But I'm genuinely not trying to project what I'm about to say out onto, the world. But I've literally heard it talked about um, in terms of portions of the population. Um, when it comes to connection, when it comes to like intimacy and everything, um, a lot of relationships are actually exceedingly superficial. And I've experienced this in my own life as well, like in my own relationships. Um, as a result of different, you know, different things that I learned, different dynamics and stuff. And I'm doing the best that I can to heal those dynamics so that I can go deeper both with myself and with other people. That's really a huge goal of mine. Um, and it's interesting too because now what I'm starting to see is social dynamics, how like systems of people work. When you look at family systems, whether it's dysfunctional or not, you can actually see that because of course what people learn they will mirror out in society. There is a connection here that I want to make because I think it's valid. I could be totally wrong, but I'm going to try to make that connection anyway. Enmeshment, entanglement of boundaries or a lack thereof of boundaries altogether. Culture. I have mixed feelings about culture. I do. But I do see culture as like a cookie cutter, one size fits all kind of thing. And it's like culture. I'm not here to suggest of black and white thinking in regards to culture. Culture is everywhere. It's just like a way of life, right? It's not good or bad, right or wrong. Um, but like looking on a level of like individuality, in my own experience, as well as I think what I've seen happen with other people, in order to be a part of culture, and I think this is something that psychedelic traveler and philosopher Terence McKenna has commented on. Um, it's along the lines of culture is not your friend, um, because it like requires you to give up a part of yourself. In all of my experiences of life and trauma and everything, having a lack of individuality is not just in dysfunctional family systems and households, but it's also in culture that requires you to give up a part or multiple parts of yourself to belong to a greater whole. How much does that potentially mirror enmeshment, right? Because in a system of enmeshment, you're not allowed to have your own opinions. You're not allowed to have your own, you know, wants and needs. You're kind of like an icky part of this massive glob of just like you are every. It's like in enmeshment, you're an extension of everyone else, right? Because in enmeshment, in a dysfunctional family system, you represent the whole rather than you having your own sense of individuality, right? That's fucking wild. Like, holy shit. And I've seen it. I have seen it happen. And it's like, no, you can't do that. that's going to make all of us look bad because you are an extension of us, right? Again, there's nothing, I'm not here to suggest that culture is good or bad, but similarly, you're part of a whole. There's this sense of belonging, right? In enmeshment, there's this sense of belonging, but you're sacrificing your own sense of individuation and differentiation. You have to be, I think a good word to use is homeostasis, to maintain homeostasis of the whole system. You have to give up what it is. You can't even have your own sense of you, like what's important to you. You have to give that up because it makes the system feel uncomfortable. And I see a mirrored element in culture. I do. And I'm just like, I actually just came to the, I don't want to call it a realization because I don't know how accurate it is, but to me, as I think about it, it makes sense. You can't be your own self in culture or in a dysfunctional family system that feeds off of enmeshment, because that is intimacy and love for them. And safety, of course. It feels safe, it feels comfortable, it feels familiar. Remember? Familiarity, family, right? It's so frustrating to look out at the world and consider that relationships, if this is true, a majority of relationships are very superficial. It voids intimacy. It voids the depth. Imagine being able to dive into somebody with safety. 100% safety. Imagine being able to allow somebody else to dive into you with 100% safety. You know that no matter what it is that they see there inside of you, you are 100% safe with them. You might have skeletons that have fucking disgusting, decades-old mold, fucking rotting, parasites eating away shit. Right? And they still are there. That's fucking wild. Now, what I don't want to do is look at that and be like, that's fucking rare. Because that's a belief. All of these different things are shaping our reality, our experiences. And that's just the way that it works. So if I believe that a majority of relationships out there are superficial, which, by the way, might be real. It might be accurate. I could also believe... Let's not look at beliefs. Let's look at this from an energy level. Who, what, and how a person is being. Take me, for instance. If I'm being somebody who is vulnerable... Right? This is just a matter of like attracts like. If I'm being somebody who's vulnerable, I'm going to attract people that are vulnerable. However, if what I'm used to, if what I'm familiar with, is opening up to people that are not healthy, safe, and stable, and I try to be vulnerable with them, and there is some type of dynamic where it's like, it happens, and it's like, oh wow, that was good, but then people have defense mechanisms also. People have defense mechanisms that allow them to appear like they're healthy, safe, and stable, but they're not. And I see my own in myself. I do. Which is why, I'm aware of my shit. I'm aware of what fucked me up. I'm aware of my defense mechanisms. But it's just wild. Instead of saying I want or I need deeper levels of intimacy, emotional intimacy, all that I need to do is be that. Be a person that provides that space for other people. And again, I might find people that seem like they are that way and really aren't. That's where the boundaries come in. That's where the being aware of dynamics and potential, like red flags and all that stuff. That's where that comes in. So yeah, I'm learning about this stuff, and that's the Friday flow. Maybe relationships aren't really challenging. Maybe we just have to know ourselves and what it is that we want to be.